Welcome back to Code S here at the GSL. Wow, innovation. Awesome, man. He got through.
Yeah.
He kicked some serious ass. He totally deserves it.
Plays very well.
He's been overshadowed. He deserves our respect and our attention as he continues through this GSL.
Yeah.
He is no longer the ringer.
No, he is not. He's someone that could go very far here, man. We'll see how far he can go. But first, we'll see who stops here. Tastes Parting or Sniper?
Yeah, which nerd's going to sink out of GSL Code S?
Probably Sniper.
I think Sniper,
Now,
unless Parting's really off today. Parting. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, you know how he's done like endless Immortal Sentry timing pushes lately and killed everybody every time? And said that he's like 70-0 in practice and stuff? Well, he just played Hyun in Fight Club, the IPL Fight Club recently, in 5 games. But Parting, here's the thing. I watched it. I had a fun time watching it. I think he was fooling around. He didn't use one Immortal Sentry time. He lost 5-1 to Hyun.
Wow.
But he was doing like older, different builds that he doesn't do much. The thing is, Parting wants to win a GSL. He doesn't. I mean, while there's a lot of money on the line in IPL Fight Club, and it's nice and it gets a good amount of viewers,
right?
It's not a GSL. And to save as many games as possible, to hide everything as much as possible, that is what is intelligent. So I think that has no bearing on what's going on. My theory is, what a lot of people probably think, is that he's like, well, I'm not going to use the builds. I'm actually going to use the GSL like a week before. This is silly to do that. Not the tournament itself, but anyways, I've said it. It's been said. I think Parting is going to smash Sniper. Sniper's really good against Immortal Sentry, but
generally speaking, Parting's not losing TVZs.
He's not.
As of late. I mean, there have been a few exceptions, but I mean, he's looking like a powerhouse. So we'll see. Sniper, he's on the line. Here in Seoul, Korea, the greatest esports players, the greatest gamers in the world reside to compete in the most competitive and most watched esports show of all time, the GSL Code S. Vegas. In the upper right, considered one of the best Protoss vs. Zerg players in the whole world, we have Parting. In the bottom left, going into today, I thought he had a very high chance of getting out, but now, after losing to Innovation and against this player, he might have a hard time. Let's see if he can overcome the odds. He is
MVP Sniper.
So I guess since I was gone, you had to do all these intros. How'd you like doing that?
One time I actually forgot for a second. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do this. It was fine. Yeah, I did a good job, I thought.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
It's okay. It's hard to, like, when you're casting someone for, like, the 7th time.
No, I know. I've had the same problem.
Where I'm like, something where I'm like, what
really?
do I say now?
Like, you know, one of our gum chewers.
I did say one of our gum chewers yesterday.
There you go. All right.
All right, so.
Yep. As you can see, these guys do have a history.
I'll be at a small one.
Yeah.
It wasn't a messy breakup.
No.
It was just a 1-0. No 2-0 or 2-1.
Nope.
All right, so Parting has started out with a pile on his main base, and what that can do is hide your forge. And it's pretty obvious that that's what you're doing with it. Now,
yeah, it was less obvious before, but now it's like, oh, okay, well, clearly.
Sniper is actually going hatch first, so he's going to be totally fine and cool with that. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, we'll have to see what he wants to do with this. This definitely already looks like it might not be. He might have like new ways to play the Sentry Immortal push. He might have decided to use other strategies. There may have been some holes. He might think that people are going to blind counter him, things like this. Sniper actually is one of the players that's very good at baiting out force fields and whatnot, so if he doesn't do Immortal Sentry the whole time, I would not be surprised that he's finally decided to change it up.
Sure.
But
And
we'll
pro production has resumed as the second pylon finishes. And this is a very good opener.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can always use this if you're low ranked on the ladder.
You can, no.
Because it's just like people are doing, it doesn't make sense what everybody's doing. And
you have to alter the build order a little bit.
Yeah.
With this build, you want to make the second pylon first, but you definitely have to go the forge first. And you kind of need to scout the second you start the Nexus if you want to do this on the ladder, guys.
Right, right.
Believe me, I've done this a lot on the ladder recently. And if you don't do those two things, you're screwed. Because people are going to be 6-pulling and whatnot. All right. So, I mean, everything's looking kind of normal. I mean, Sniper and Parting both getting off to a really strong start. With the hatchery first and the super fast third hatch. The Parting with the scoutless pylon in the main opening with the Nexus first.
not scouting at all has become more common in StarCraft 2.
Yeah,
in Codas at least.
It's in that phase a little bit where you know the range of what your opponent might do, and you know your player, and you're going to prepare for that and just take every edge possible. A lot of people are doing that right now.
So I would expect to see a Robo here after this Cybernetics Core finishes.
You think he's going to do the Immortal Sentry?
I think so.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
I mean, that's like what happens in this GSL. Now, he should win with it too, but then again, nobody else has been doing it.
Yeah, we'll be seeing in just a second, because he normally gets it right when he chases away the Overlord with the Stalker. And, well, he already made it. All right, there you go.
All right.
And he's actually made it out of the vision of the Overlord. So, in fact, so far this is exactly the build, except he did the Forge in the main, which is fine. That could throw his opponent off. Yeah, the Sentry's started. The +1 is started. Everything is on key for Parting to do this, and everything's at the right time for him to do this. He's the quickest Immortal pusher.
He's the best Immortal pusher in the world.
He is. There's not a question there.
He claims he's figured stuff out he can't reveal yet. But that
I studied this build non-stop for a while. He's just quicker at it than everyone, and he makes the right decisions. There's not anything magical about it, basically.
You sure?
There's nothing too magical about it. Like, I'll write up a report on exactly the differences between when he does it and other people. A little bit later when I
think it's magic, Artosis.
I see.
Magnets, you can't explain that.
You can't explain magnets, of course. That is magical.
That is magic.
There's no
real.
magnets in this build.
All right. You say so, Artosis.
I do. So still, everything is completely looking like he is doing his build.
Now he'll push out with the 3 Immortals.
Yep.
Now, if this doesn't work, as Protoss, he's going to be in a bit of trouble, especially against a player of the caliber of Sniper.
Yeah, it's pretty all in. No question about that. There's not a lot that you can back up into, but you can max out with it, as we've seen from Seed and whatnot in the past, actually against Sniper.
Yeah, that was awesome. The game from Seed, man.
It was pretty badass.
That weird pylon placement. It's like a little bit fugly there in the Protoss' main.
It is.
At the ramp.
That's like
That's going to mess with the feng shui of that base.
Seriously, there's no positive vibes coming out of those gateways.
No kidding, man. I'm going to sleep well on that. No!
All right, here we go, Tastes. He is doing the push. And as we see at the time of move out, 7 Sentries, 3 Immortals, 1 Zealot, 1 Stalker, 46 probes, bringing a probe with him. He'll rally behind a Warp Prism and then an Observer. And he'll make units as appropriate on the way. So the one thing, he doesn't want to lose these few units he just made, and it doesn't look like he will. So this is looking perfect for him right now.
And normally Zerg stopped this by intercepting the sentries in the back, like these 2 here.
Yeah, that's definitely something you want to do, but speed never was researched. Oh, wait, no, it just finished, rather. I was like, what? Those were slow, and I looked up.
All right, nice save. Not even having to use a force field here.
Yeah, and so far he's done just right with it. He hasn't lost anything yet that was any importance.
The War Prism's coming along with this, too.
Now, Sniper's being really smart by getting that +1 carapace. It's so important so that Zealots don't just slaughter Zerglings off. Now, he did just warp in a ton of Zealots, so that +1 carapace, as that finishes, will become more and more important.
That'll be huge.
Yeah. Notice he is warping in a lot of pylons so that he can warp in at pylons if possible and micro the warpers a bit more. All right, here we go.
Sniper's got a pretty scary-looking army. Nice force fields, beautiful force fields.
Very good so far. These Zealots in the back actually doing a terrible job. He's not microing those correctly at all.
He's letting them brush up against the force fields instead.
He's actually, this is a big flank right now going on. And he's lost a lot of his sentries. Party does have a lot of gas, so he definitely can warp in some more if he wants, and he does. He needs to keep that force field count up. He hasn't lost any immortals, and they all have pretty high shields still. So his army's still very scary. And
pushing over here now, the pylon under attack.
He might have to play this slow against Sniper like we saw Seed do before, and in fact that is beautifully done by Sniper, getting right in on there.
Nice, he's picking him up there with the warp prism.
Yeah.
The sentries when they're wounded.
And this is why you want these pylons up here so you can actually micro this warp prism correctly.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
But it's not over yet.
No, he doesn't have a lot of sentries, and the Zerglings are becoming more and more valuable here. Uh-oh, parting with his immortal push.
All right, now he still has 3 immortals. They are low on shields, though.
34 lings on the way. He has no sentries. And even if he warps in Zealots, those aren't going to be helpful.
Right, the arm upgrade's there.
Yeah.
And I feel like Parting should know this is about to happen.
Yeah, he's almost dead right now. I really think he's going to get help for the first time.
Well, oh my God, he's continuing to go in here. All right. Very unusual day today, and Zerg's is going to wipe this out, no problem. No problem taking out that Immortal Droplet again. And that, I don't know, man. Zealot, Immortal, is that really going to hold here? Now he takes on the Warp Prism.
He gets
completely shut down.
Well,
GG, damn.
In the words of Madonna Tasteless, Parting is like a virgin. His immortal push was held for the very first time.
Speaking of which, time goes by so slowly. For those who turtle, no time to celebrate.
All right, so Parting just got held. His very cocky immortal push has been somewhat solved.
Has this been solved? Yeah.
Well, here's the parts that Sniper did well. He pushed a lot of creep near his third base so that he could more easily do a flank. Parting, when he got flanked, was not against the wall. He was in the middle, so he had to use even more force fields than he may have wanted to. The +1 carapace rush, very good against this because you're going to want to warp in extra Zealots against someone that goes Ling heavy. You know what? He got in there. He surrounded very well. Seed actually executed this push better in the round of 32 than Parting just did just now.
I agree.
And that's because as you burn a lot of force fields and you start losing sentries, you really have to go into a super defensive corner so your force fields still work while you get more sentries, because without the sentries, you will lose the push. The sentries and the immortals are the important units. Everything else doesn't matter nearly as much, and Parting just didn't do that. That was not the execution that we're used to from Parting. He is not on top of his game
there is something to be said about a player who basically states that he's figured out this thing that nobody can stop, and he's not going to explain how he's got it so mapped out until he wins a GSL or something. I feel like there's going to be a point in time where all these Zergs are going to go, well, you have to be able to beat that. I don't think the game's broken, and that's when you're going to get Zergs getting together and be like, all right, how do we stop this?
Parting defeated by Hubris.
Hubris. Oh, nice word choice there.
Wink.
Wink, wink. Proving your nerd lexicons here. All right, game number 2. Is Parting going to get flushed out? Or is Sniper going to be shut down the next 2 games? We're going to find out soon. Let's go.